resources. We have helped hundreds of businesses from Maryland to thrive internationally, do sales internationally, and get help from all of the resources that we offer, which most of them are at no cost. The first speaker that we have for today is Jessica Reynolds, the Senior Director for the Office of International Trade and Investment from the Maryland Department of Commerce, my supervisor. So Jessica, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Jason. So as Jason introduced me, I am the Senior Director for the Office of International Investment and Trade at the Maryland Department of Commerce. What our office does is a few things. We're responsible for helping Maryland companies to export, so that's all of you. We also support foreign companies that are looking to come and invest into the state, and we do general international marketing, business marketing for the state as well, internationally. So first of all, we want to, ask you maybe why you would want to export. I mean, exporting can be a great opportunity, but maybe companies are nervous about doing that as well. It's a big step to take. So Jason, I think we can go to the next slide. So I'm going to give a little bit of background before we jump into exactly the reasons why. First of all, the federal government has really stepped in over the last couple of decades to help companies in the U.S. to export more. The National Export Initiative started in 2010 with the Obama administration and really focus on helping especially small businesses and farmers to increase exports. Some of the ways that they did this was with a program called the State Trade and Export I think there's actually also a promotion program, which is issued to states, and it provided us, our office, with additional funding to support you, our companies. The reason that the federal government took this step to support states to further increase our efforts in exporting and promoting exporting from our companies in Maryland was because U.S. companies tend to export much less than their peers around the world. When we look at Germany, Japan, UK, some of the other markets that might be similar to the US, many more of their companies are exporting. And so, while we do have many small businesses that are exporting, we are looking to increase that even more in order to help our trade balance. I mean, that's one of the things that we want to do that is a bipartisan effort and of bipartisan interest. So that is how you can participate in that effort. So we'll talk a little bit more about exactly why it might help you specifically, besides supporting the nation with our efforts to export. First of all, there's a lot of market demand outside of the US. Yes, the US is the largest consumer market, or one of the largest markets, but there is 95% of consumers and over 70% of the world's purchasing power is outside the US. So although you might be very successful within the United States, if you are willing to expand and look into exporting, you have that much more potential business growth at your fingertips. Also, there's sort of a built-in competitive advantage for U.S. companies. The U.S. is renowned for high quality, innovative goods, good customer service. Many buyers feel comfortable purchasing from U.S. companies and purchasing U.S. products because they know they're going to be quality products. Of course, you have the opportunity to increase your sales and profits, helps your company grow faster, helps you create more jobs. That's one of the things we care about, is having plenty of jobs here in Maryland for Marylanders. But it also helps reduce your dependence on existing markets. We all went through COVID, and what happened during COVID was different countries were shutting down at different times. And if those companies that were exporting and had export markets, maybe they saw reduced demand here at home, but some other countries were still open for business at that time as normal. So you still had some sort of a income stream. So that's just something to think about. Hopefully we aren't doing that again, but there are different reasons why, markets may fluctuate up and down. And if you have more markets that you are selling to, it just gives you sort of that diversification. It also helps you extend the sales potential of your existing products. Products and services, they have their life cycle. And as that might be winding down and coming to maturity in your home market here in the US, it might be a brand new product in another market. So you can sort of start that cycle all over again and continue to extend the life of products that you've already developed. In addition, there's also market and seasonal market fluctuations you might want to consider here now. And this is perfect for this particular audience because we do see that a lot in the Americas. We're sort of long and skinny as a couple of continents go. And some of those markets are in summer when we're in winter and vice versa. So if you are in a product that's seasonal, you might have times that are busier and slower at other times of the year. But if you're exporting, you might be able to keep that more continuous by looking at certain markets. And then you also can make sure you're maximizing your production capacity. If you do have any additional capacity, that's a way to help, again, make sure you have increased sales in order to utilize that capacity to the best of your ability. And at the end of the day, many small companies are looking for their exit strategy when they are ready to retire or just to move on to something else. And having diversified markets through exporting is a way that you can increase the potential for your company's value. So that's something else to consider. So what are some common questions that we see with exporting? First of all, can you export services? Yes. As you can see, over 30% of U.S. exports are services. And, for us, it's whether it's a product, whether it's a service, even something that might be a little bit intangible like tourism or education, those are also exports. As long as the money is flowing from outside the United States into your company, then it is an export. And then, I kind of answered maybe a little bit of the next question, but how do I know if I'm an exporter? If you have that sort of flow of funds. So if someone asked on your website if they could purchase the product and you shipped it off to them and they happen to be in Canada or Mexico or in Europe or in Spain, well, that's in Europe, or in Japan, even if you've just done it once, you are already an exporter. And honestly, even if you just have a website that's available on the web, you are potentially searchable by anyone all over the world. So you have the potential for exporting right there. You're already pursuing international. And then, of course, there are concerns about financial risk, market entry strategies, logistics, export licensing. You're going to hear about many solutions today. Some of our partners here in the session have some specific solutions for these. So and if anything that you are specifically curious about is not answered in today's session, certainly you can come to any of us and we will help point you in the right direction for some of those things that might be making you a little more nervous about exporting. But there are solutions and there's help. Now, I also want to take a couple minutes to go over just Commerce's specific programs that are available to support you as you export. First of all, the program that most people call us about is our Export MD program. This is a grant program. It's a reimbursable grant of up to $5,000 for export marketing initiatives. So companies typically use this. I would say most common, they use it for travel, for a business development trip, for a trade show. But we do have a number of companies that use this for marketing and website development. And as you can see on the eligible expenses here, there are a number of things that we consider to be marketing expenses that can be considered. And this program does operate on a rolling basis. So you can apply anytime, and we have deadlines at the first of every month. And so monthly, we are reviewing applications for review. Or for award, sorry. So just keep in mind, you want to plan a couple of months in advance when you are applying for that program. Because of the submission review period, you want to meet with a regional manager on my team to help make sure your application is going to be as strong as possible. And, we want to make sure that you have that in place prior to any activity you would undertake for you to be able to utilize the grant. But that is a great program. Another program that we have is, we call it the FlexX program. This is really our network of foreign offices around the world. We have 19 of them that are serving Maryland companies. You can see the sort of the words on the map here is where they're headquartered, but some of them cover larger markets. So for example, in South Africa, that office is actually covering, and they have representatives in multiple countries. Same with UAE, they actually cover 3, 4 countries in that region. That's why you see the colors on the map that way. For that program, we offer up to 20 hours of free assistance to any Maryland company in areas such as market research, partner search, matchmaking if you're going overseas. So we call it FlexEx because it's flexible export assistance. So let us know if you have an interest, and that is a free service that you can utilize. And then we have a few other programs that are available to you as well. So we offer trade show support for Maryland companies for specific trade shows that we attend as the state. For example, we have a group that's just flying back from Dusseldorf, Germany right now, which is the largest medical device trade show in the world. And they had a delegation of 13 Maryland companies with them who received support in the form of subsidized booth space, matchmaking, meetings, and things of that nature. So when we do have usually a schedule of set trade shows that we do throughout the year, and we take Maryland companies with us for those. In addition, if you had a trade show that's specific to your company, that it's not one that Maryland's going to, of course, you can apply for the Export MD program for that. We also provide a reimbursement for U.S. Export Assistance Center and Export-Import Bank services. Those are some of the services that might be solutions for some of the questions or concerns that you have. And so we offer reimbursement for those services, which we don't offer in-house, but our partners in the federal government offer some great services. And so we provide a partial reimbursement of those. I know my colleague Michael will be going over their services shortly. And then we also have a soft landing exchange program. This is our newest program. And this is for companies that are looking to take sort of the next step in exporting overseas. Maybe you've gone to a trade show or had some inquiries on your website. You've done some matchmaking or you've done some market research, and you can see there's a solid interest in a specific market. We have a program where we have vetted specific incubators in a handful of markets, primarily markets where we've seen some of the highest demand, and we are able to then match you and provide you with funding. There's an application process, but we provide funding up to $10,000 for companies to participate in an international incubator or accelerator program in order for you to enter that market more successfully with supports in place, have a place to go, an office space to go to and companies in that market to interact with, and help you to be more settled, have that soft landing, if you will, because we want you to be successful when you go into another market. So that is our latest program, and that program actually Jason is running for us. So I think that might be the last slide, and I want to make sure I stop talking so everybody has time to cover everything. Thank you. So this is Jason's contact information. You're also welcome to contact me. I think my contact information is at the end of the complete presentation, and I'm happy to answer questions when we open that up. Yeah, I don't know if we're doing that now or
Thank you so
you want
much,
to do it at the end.
Jessica. Yes, thank you so much, Jessica, for presenting about these resources from our office. Now I would like to open the presentation for 1 or 2 minutes, so you can ask any question in the chat, or if you can unmute yourself, you can also make a question to Jessica before jumping to our next speaker.
I have a question. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of the presentation or not, but for me it's very interesting to see that we export not only products but also services. And I wonder if you have like a success story or just an example of something kind of unconventional in terms of exporting, or just in something that you have seen is like, okay, our agency have helped these company to open the market and somewhere else, and how did that go?
Sure. Yeah, well, one of the things that's fun about this job is I feel like you find out about new companies every day. So I don't know if there is sort of a typical product or service almost. There are some industries where we see a bit more, but one thing on the exporting side is that we work with such a wide range of companies. There's one company that comes to mind. I don't know if this is what you had in mind, but one company that comes to mind is one that our team has worked with over probably several years now at this point, that they have a product that is a spray that can help stop bleeding. And this is a company that, there's an obvious interest in that for sort of emergency situations, but we've been able to help connect them to other places where there's conflict. So it's not only kind of like here in the US emergency situations, but conflict situations as well. And what's been interesting about working with that company, and we have a number of stories like this, is that we start off working with them and they have some interest in exporting. And then, we have our foreign offices maybe help them with little research, or they're also working with the U.S. Export Assistance Center doing some research. Then they might go on a trade show with us. Actually, this is a company that did participate in this trade show that just wrapped up this week. I'm not sure if they participated this year, but they participated for a couple of years. And then after that, then they're getting sort of their certification and getting through the regulatory processes in different countries that they needed to go through. And so, we've worked with a lot of companies that sort of go through a journey like this. And it's very gratifying when we are able to see that, that is leading to success as they're able to really make sales and start to secure contracts and things of that nature. So I think we've worked with everything from defense products to food to beauty products. I've worked with schools that were looking to bring in more international students because that's an export. Education's an export if they're an international student. I mean, there's such a wide range. Construction materials. There's such a wide range. I feel like there's almost too many for me to pull out another one. But I don't know. I'm sure everyone on this panel has great examples as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica, for that testimony of this company. So our next presenter will be Marina from the Center for Global Business from the University of Maryland.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Marina Augustides. I am the Associate Director at the Center for Global Business. We are at one of the centers of excellence at the Smith School of Business at the University of Maryland in College Park. We are the hub of international or global experiential learning here at the Smith School, but we also provide economic and exporting support to Maryland small businesses. We do this in part by a grant that we have through the U.S. Department of Education called the Centers for International Business Education. This grant is, the mission of the grant is to really encourage U.S. business in a global marketplace and also encourage international mutual understanding. So it does support a lot of the activities that we do, including a couple of the programs that I'm going to talk about in this presentation. We are also in a award-winning center of excellence, having received the 2024 President's E Award for Export Service. This is a the award from the United States President from the Department of Education or Department of Commerce for providing export services to companies that are wishing to export. So a couple of programs that we offer small companies through in Maryland is our Maryland Global Consulting Program. This is one of our, I guess this is probably our most signature program, and a program we actually started back in 2016 with the Maryland Department of Commerce. It's our Maryland Global Consulting Program. It is a way to match students with companies, giving students the real world experience of being able to take what they're learning in the classroom to a real world project and working with a real client, but also our way of being able to support small companies in their efforts to go global or solve an international business challenge. So typically consulting projects could be anything from entering, we're doing a market assessment, a market analysis of 10 to 15 countries that a company might want to or is thinking about entering, and then drilling that down to top 3 countries based on a certain criteria, and then a market entry strategy for those 3 countries. The team of students, it's a team of 5 business graduate students, so it's a mix of MBA and our business master's population, which it ends up being a custom team that's appointed specifically for the type of project that they would be working on and the client. They are appointed a faculty member to help guide them throughout the course of the project. The students do the work, but the faculty is really there to help, guide them and just make sure that they are delivering the project scope that they promise to deliver to the client at the end. Again, some of the scopes here are listed here. It is a 10-week program, and we offer it in the fall and spring. So we are now accepting applications for the spring iteration, which will then end up starting probably about mid-February. So, applications are being taken now, and what would happen is I would follow up with you, and we can have those initial conversations to see how the program could suit your needs, and then we can get started from there. There is a fee to the program. However, it is supported in part by the Export MD grant if you do get approval for that before the program starts. And then we can follow up, or I can follow up with Patricia at the end to provide application links for this program specifically. Next slide. So the next program that we want to talk about is our Maximizing Maryland Graduate Internship Program. This is a summer program where we help companies basically by giving them a pool of applicants that they can choose from to bring in an intern for the summer. What we do is basically try to streamline the application process. So a company does not necessarily have to, just be out there in the ether trying to find an intern for their operations, but they can work with us. So what we do is put together an application where students interested in global business positions or internship positions apply to. They are all graduate students. And then from that, the clients that are interested in this program also apply or register. They receive access to those specific students who are interested in this program. And then they are able to select their students that they want to interview for their internship. So there is a way to help streamline to select an intern. And we also provide training to those interns as well. So typically these internships should be around anything from global business management, marketing, trade finance, supply chain, anything that's sort of supporting the global operations of a company. And so we'll provide that training at the very beginning. So the students also have sort of that foundation of what they might be doing over the course of the internship. It's a summer program, and right now things are changing. It's changing slightly where the requirements of how many hours the student might have to work or what the rate of pay is a little bit more flexible for the client. So that is the internship program. And then I think there's one more slide to share with you. So we do a number of programs through the Smith School around executive education. So one is an Export for Entrepreneurs webinar series, which is available on our website. And then we do a number of executive education programs for companies or individuals in these specific areas. You can go to our website, which is listed at the bottom, if you would want to enroll in any of those programs or speak to somebody directly about maybe providing something that's a little bit more custom for your company. I think that might be the last part of my presentation. Jason, can you go to the next slide? So this is my contact information, and feel free to send me an email or give me a call. You can also take a look at our website to see some of the programs that I mentioned in detail, but happy to have a conversation, follow-up conversation with anybody to go into these programs more into detail and also give you some ideas of how we could help you through any of these programs. Does anybody have any specific questions for me in the programs that I had mentioned? Well, I am available if you would like to email me or contact me at a different point. And happy to be here. Thank you for including us. Hopefully we can support some of you all in the future.
Thank you so much, Marina, for that presentation and letting us know more about the resources from the Center of Global Business from the Robert Smith. Well, we are going to jump to the next presenter, who is Michael K. Jackson from the USEAC team.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining the webinar today, whenever you're watching, if you're watching live or the recording. As was mentioned, I'm Michael K. Jackson. I'm with the U.S. Department of Commerce, International Trade Administration, a unit within the International Trade Administration called the U.S. Commercial Service. And for those of you who might not be familiar with U.S. Commercial Service, we're the export promotion arm of the International Trade Administration. So we are, you heard Jessica Reynolds talk earlier at the top of the program. We're essentially the federal equivalent to the Maryland Department of Commerce, do a number of similar things, but let me provide you just a general overview of essentially who we are and how we can assist you today. So the U.S. Commercial Service is a global network. As I mentioned, we're within the International Trade Administration. And the way we're structured, we have offices throughout the United States here domestically, and we also have counterparts that who are located in embassies and consulates across the globe. In fact, we are in 80 plus countries around the world, and probably around 100 or so offices here domestically. And the way we assist you is in a number of ways. It kind of our assistance kind of falls into four broad buckets, if you will, that you can see here on the slide. One is export counseling. So no matter where you are in your export development, international business development, we can kind of come alongside you and assist you. Important to note, we do this in cooperation and coordination with all the partners that you have here showcased today and others who are not here. We always say that while we may not have all the answers, we know who to connect you to get you the answers that you need. So export counseling at any stage your business finds itself. Market intelligence is a ton of market intelligence that we can provide you that will kind of inform your decisions as you look at different markets around the globe. There's a ton of information on our website at trade.gov. One resource I want to just highlight for now is called the Country Commercial Guides. These guides, we have them, we have 100 plus guides that provide market intelligence, deep market intelligence on markets around the globe, from the business to the regulatory environment in a particular country you may be considering exporting to, for example. And then the business matchmaking, which is really our bread and butter. Essentially, that involves us connecting you with potential partners and or distributors, depending on your business model, around the globe. And then lastly, and I'll talk more about that business matchmaking piece in a second. And then the last bucket would be our commercial diplomacy, where if you find yourself, coming up against obstacles as you do business internationally, we can assist you in, as the U.S. government, in kind of doing that blocking and tackling with you, if you will, to help you overcome whatever challenges you're facing overseas. We always talk about advocacy in two senses. Small A advocacy is where if you're coming up against trade barriers in a country, we can help assist you. Or if you are competing for foreign government business, we have what's called the Advocacy Center, which does what we call big A advocacy, where we come alongside you and kind of help level the playing field for you as you compete for foreign government contracts overseas. This is just a graphical depiction of what I said earlier about our global network. Oftentimes, particularly perhaps a small business like yourself that is newer or newish to exporting. One of the biggest impediments to expanding your business is that feeling of not knowing where to start or not knowing how to connect or just fear of the unknown. And because of our global presence, we kind of help put you at ease as you do business globally by our global network. And then I just want to highlight some of our services that can assist you in helping you grow internationally. If you focus on the initial market check, you heard me talk about market intelligence. So if you are considering exporting to a market where you have no experience in, we can assist you in kind of finding out a little bit more about that market or the possibility of you selling into that market by doing an initial market check. We work with our overseas colleagues who, and I neglected to mention this up front, but the way we're broken down individually is by industry vertical. So, and that's mirrored overseas. So whatever industry vertical your company represents, we have a specialist here in Baltimore and then across the globe in embassies and consulates that can actually help you navigate that market. So the initial market check kind of puts feelers out into that specific market to find out if your product or service would be viable in that market. The international company profile, we help with this service, helps you in, say if you already know the market and you found a potential partner, perhaps by using one of the other services that I'll talk about in a second, or you found them on your own. But, to increase your comfort level, you may want to do some due diligence. The ICP, as we call it, the International Company Profile, helps do that due diligence for you and with you. We can either do just a quick check on the company, or it can be very involved in that, we'll have my overseas colleagues actually do a site visit to that company to establish, if that company is legit and so forth, look up, their financials and so forth. So specific company intelligence is provided by the International Company Profile. Let's talk about the Gold Key service, which is, again, our flagship program. You heard me mention that, our bread and butter is that matchmaking service. Gold Key is the preeminent service of matchmaking, where we actually find up to 5 potential partners or distributors in a particular market for you. We find them, we vet them, we actually set those meetings up, and you would travel to that specific country or market to have those meetings, typically accompanied by my international counterparts. And this is where we work closely with our state of Maryland counterparts, in that you heard Jessica mention that they have 19 offices across the globe. Oftentimes, we work hand in hand with their international offices as well to conduct these types of services. And then the international partner search is basically pretty much a virtual gold key, if you will. Instead of traveling to that specific market, we still find the partners for you, potential partners for you, set up the calls via Microsoft Teams, not unlike what we're doing here today, and you have those meetings virtually. And then you have the option to travel to the country at a later date. And last but not least, because I know I'm running out of time here, single company promotion, another matchmaking service where instead of the one-to-one meetings that you would have in a Gold Key, for example, with single company promotion, or SCP as we affectionately call it, it's a one-to-many. So if you are a company that wants to showcase your product or service to potential buyers in a particular market, instead of setting up individual meetings, we'll actually set up that showcase for you and invite folks to come to that. For example, it could be a dinner or a luncheon or seminar, come in many different forms. But you get a chance to showcase your product or service overseas. Jason, next slide, please. And then, just to leave you with a couple of quotes. I won't read all of these to you, but I'll highlight two. The one at the very top that says, "It feels as if I have a whole team of support." And then down at the bottom where it reads, "For a small company, we simply would not have been able to accomplish as much as we did without the U.S. Commercial Service assistance." Just want to highlight those two because, harkens back to what I said earlier in terms of oftentimes you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, and you feel alone as you think about pursuing international business. But I'm here to tell you that you have a global network of trade specialists like myself, ready, willing, and able to assist you. And then this is just our contact information. We have highlighted here some of our local partners and our other federal partners, some of whom are here on the call today. This is by no means a full list. There are many partners here in Maryland that we work with that may not have made the slide. And then to showcase my team, our director, Marcial, or Jose Marcial, he goes by Marcial, myself, my colleagues, Yolanta and Cam, and we have responsibilities for different industry sectors. So no matter what sector you're in, you're covered. Happy to entertain questions now or at the end, depending on the time, Jason.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael, for that presentation. Of course, we can take any questions from the audience right now, either by chat or you can mute yourself and let us know about your
Jason,
questions.
Jason, I have a question to Michael.
Sure,
thank
Jeff.
you very much, Michael. Thank you very much for your great presentation. So I'm just saying that one thing, that we are a software development company, especially we are working in financial institute, we are expert in microfinance banking solution. So if we participate the FinTech Africa or FinTech Asia or the GITEC, what service we can get from it? Is it the Gold Key service or any services that we can enjoy from your?
Jafar, can you do? I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Do you mind repeating that question for me?
Okay, I'm saying again that we are expert in a microfinance banking solution. Our solution is running in 4 African countries, especially Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Zambia. So we are looking for customers in Africa as well as in the South America and in Asia also. So the different kind of event that are participating in all over the world, that the FinTech Asia, Africa or FinTech Asia, or the GITEC Asia or GITEC Africa. So what kind of service, like the Gold Key service or other other service that we can get it from entering or enjoying the exhibition as an exhibitor.
Yep, I got you. I got you. So yes, so you mentioned different events that we have really around the country and around the world. We have trade shows that our folks attend and represent that you can actually attend and we have specific either because you mentioned fintech, so we have there are industry focused events that you could attend to actually meet buyers either here in Maryland or in the States, or you can actually travel overseas utilizing some of the services I talked about here via the Gold Key, for example, or let me give a plug back to my state counterpart, and Jessica talked about the Export MD grant funding that's available. You could potentially tap that funding to actually go on to attend a trade show, specifically in the fintech market, for example. Now, just one quick question before we move on, and happy to connect with you offline as well, Jafar. Now, did you mention that you're starting the company, or is the company already started and generating revenues?
We are soft lending company. We are proud for getting this one. So we have already global presence in UAE, Malaysia, and Bangladesh, and we are participating in the soft lending global gateway program from Maryland.
Okay.
So we are proud of that one. So getting this experience, we are entering in South America, Africa, and exporting the solution from United States to these countries and generate the revenue in here. So that's why the event, especially the trade show, is very, very important for exhibiting our product in a different kind of countries like the Africa FinTech, the Zytec Asia, or Zytec Europe, or the Zytec or FinTech in South America also. So that's why I'm asking what kind of service that we can get to participate in this kind of a trade show.
Absolutely.
Being the soft lending program of that Opus we are enjoying here.
Yeah, we can definitely connect offline, and happy to discuss further. I did see that Jessica just put something in the chat. Jessica, you want to highlight what you said?
Yes, there was another question in the chat regarding whether the services are open to companies of certain sizes or backgrounds, and whether there are fees for the service. So I was responding to that for Maryland, but maybe you want to go ahead and cover that for the federal government.
Yes, so on the federal side, yes, there are fees associated with the programs I discussed. Aside from the counseling is free. We can, happy to have a conversation, but there are fees associated with the Gold Key and the other services that I did mention, and happy to discuss specifics on a one-on-one basis.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jafar, for that participation. Does anybody else have any question for Michael before we proceed to the next speaker? Okay, we're going to jump to our next presenter, my friend Stone Slade from the Maryland Department of Agriculture. Thank you so much for being here, Stone.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you all for the opportunity to speak to you here today. My name is Stone Slade. I'm the Director of International Marketing at the Maryland Department of Agriculture. And, the Department of Agriculture is here to assist you all along the export process with your food and beverage products, agriculture and seafood from Maryland. I'll be speaking today about some of the resources that we have available through the Maryland Department of Agriculture. And namely, that'll be the Southern U.S. Trade Association. Jason? So as I mentioned, we are a member of the Southern U.S. Trade Association, and I'll be speaking about the program here today. SUSTA is here to help small and medium-sized businesses in the Southern U.S. promote their U.S. agricultural products internationally. It's a trade association made up of the state departments of agriculture in the South, going from Maryland down to Florida, out to Texas, and we all work together and utilize federal funding to create opportunities for our companies in our states. Just some numbers on SUSTA, and this is from 2023. Nearly 200 million in export sales with companies participating in SUSTA events. Those companies exported to 68 different countries. And then there was 2,615 estimated jobs supported through these export efforts. And there was a $412 million economic impact from SUSTA participants through their export successes. So to be eligible for SUSTA, you have to be headquartered in the SUSTA region, the South, Maryland, small by SBA standards, and have enough product to meet any orders you may receive for export. Your product needs to be a branded product, and it has to be made up of at least 50% U.S. grown ingredients. Eligible products includes consumer-ready retail foods, snack foods, sauces and condiments, seasonings, fresh produce, seafood, beverages, including alcohol, horticulture, pet foods, supplements, and all-natural health and beauty products. So the 3 programs available through SUSTA to help you along the export process include education. That includes the USDA international staff and the Foreign Ag Service offices that provide briefings and information on the markets that they work in. SUSTA in-country reps, they have representatives that you'll have access to throughout the globe. SUSTA webinars, where often those in-country representatives give presentations on market insight from their country. We just had one today on Canada, where the in-country consultants gave insight on getting on the shelves and retailers in Canada, as well as they had some companies with success stories that have found success through SUSTA programs to export, as well as export readiness training. They offer trainings usually in the beginning and end of the year on the whole export process. And then there's an export helpline available where if you run into any issues along the way, you can reach out to them. So let's say you need to know the regulations for exporting to the EU, they can assist you with that. Then to help find buyers and locate markets overseas, they have global events, which are inbound trade missions, outbound trade missions, international trade shows, and domestic trade shows, as well as an online platform. And then there's the fantastic Call Share program, which I'll be getting to all of these a little bit more. So the first, export education. Now these dates have passed, but there'll be another export education seminar coming up with a fee of about $150. Educational webinars, as I mentioned, and then consultations with in-country reps. Thank you. So global events. These are the events that SUSTA holds throughout the year to help our companies access markets. The first is inbound trade missions. This is where we bring in buyers to Maryland to visit your company and see your products actually being produced and learn about why your products are top quality and can compete in the global market. These are usually $25 to participate. We just had one last month for seafood. We had a China and Hong Kong inbound seafood trade mission where we brought in seafood buyers from those countries, about 12 of them, and we visited 6 different locations in the state looking to increase export sales to those countries. We also do outbound trade missions. This is where you'll go to a country overseas. Usually you'll visit 1 to 3 cities within that country where you'll have a briefing from the Foreign Ag Service. You'll have market retail tours. And then in each location, you'll have one-on-one meetings with pre-qualified buyers that are in-country consultants have found that are actually interested in your products. These are about $600 to participate in. And then SUSTA has pavilions at food and beverage trade shows throughout the globe, as well as horticulture. And you can, for a majorly discounted price, you can have a booth space within that pavilion. We are getting ready to, the next one that I have coming up that I'm involved with is Gulf Food, which is in Dubai. It's the largest food and beverage trade show. And the last number I saw, I think companies that were with us in the SUSTA Pavilion did about 15 million in sales just from this year at that trade show. And there's a number of them on the website at susta.org. You can see all the events that we're involved with throughout the year. Next. Connex 365, that's the online platform to get exposure to foreign buyers online. You can put your company information, product information, pictures, social media on there, and it's a service provided to connect online with foreign buyers. Then there's the fantastic 50% cost share program. This is where you can get up to 50% back on international marketing expenses pre-approved. You have to apply to the program. And you also have to, on your products, have a U.S. origin statement. Next. So you can use these funds for the 50% cost share. As I mentioned, it was for international marketing expenses. This could be to exhibit at a trade show. This go towards your booth fee, travel expenses, point of sale materials, promotional giveaways, advertising the directory, shipping of samples, and much more. In addition, you can use that 50% cost share program to produce foreign packaging or labels. Let's say you're going to Canada and you need to include French on your packaging. Well, you can use a 50% cost share program for the translation, for the design work, and for the printing of those. There's also funding available for outbound trade missions, ads targeting international markets. You can put up billboards in foreign countries and social media influencers, that type of thing. Next. In-store demonstrations, if you're having sampling at a retailer, website development, if you need to include new languages, as well as in-store displays within those retailers. All right, so there is a $300 application fee for the cost share program. And if accepted, you will have to pay 6% admin fee on any cost you're looking to get reimbursed. Now, when you start out within the cost share program, new to export companies, they can access $2,500 to $25,000 in cost share. But after you're an experienced exporter and after your first year, that number goes up to $300,000. So it's quite a rebate, to say the least, and really helps companies utilize what funding they have for international marketing. And one thing I would like to mention as well is that you need to apply at least 3 months in advance for the cost share program for any expenses you plan to incur. All right, just to recap on SUSTA, which is a trade association that the Department of Ag is a member of, and thus you can be a member of if you're a food and beverage company here in the state. The 3 programs that they offer: education on helping you learn about markets, learn about the exporting process; global events that actually helps to connect you to buyers overseas through inbound missions where we bring the buyers to you, outbound missions where we take you over to meet the buyers, and as well as international trade shows. And then lastly, the fantastic cost share program, where after your first year, you can get up to $300,000 in cost share benefits. So what's next? You go to susta.org and create a My SUSTA account for approval and to learn more. Thank you very much. There's my contact information, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you so much, Stone. Now we're going to jump to our next presenter, Luis Colorado from the SBDC, sorry, the Maryland Small Business Development Center.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Patricia, for inviting me. I'm Luis Diaz Colorado, a bilingual business counselor for the Maryland Small Business Development Center. Next, please. The Small Business Development Center is a nonprofit organization that provides free counseling, business counseling to entrepreneurs in the Maryland atmosphere or market. So we provide training, counseling, and technical assistance. Our training, of course, is directed towards any core topics, any specialty topics such as export and import, And we also provide virtual trainings throughout the footprint. Our counseling provide assessments and also the ability to help our entrepreneurs build their business plans and marketing plans, whether they're looking for exporting or they're looking to apply for loans and things like that. We're here to help them put together those business plans and marketing plans so that they can present it to a lender. Okay. Technical assistance extends to obtaining certification applications, any type of MBE, DBE applications as well, how to conduct government procurement, how to do market research, and provide that third-party review of a business plan. Next slide, please. So when it comes to exporting, we have 4, soon to be 5, of our counselors that are certified to provide export assistance to our clients. Okay, we assist our clients to be ready for exporting and assist in developing a comprehensive export strategy. Provide them market research and help them with selection. So helping them identify any potential international markets and providing insights into market trends and competition. We also provide guidance in respect to compliance and documentation guidance, advising on export regulations, licensing, and necessary documentation for international trade. Next, please. We also provide, our services in financial and risk management, any logistical and supply chain advice, and personalized counseling and training, which is available for at any time for as long as the client needs us to be there. Mm-hmm. Next, please. And this is our 3 main contact information. So if you're ready to globalize your business, you can contact myself, Luis Diaz Colorado, our Assistant Director of the Northern Region, which is Darren Payton, and Nestor Gaviria, which is also part of our Anne Arundel region. So I think I did that in 2 minutes. I'll try to speak
Luis, very concise, huh? Quickly.
Yeah, I was trying to respect time, so I tried to rush through it, so I apologize for that.
No problem. This is fantastic information. I was even checking some of the websites and all the events that SUSTA has listed and all the information the other organizations have. It's amazing, so valuable. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That is correct, Patricia. Thank you so much, Luis, for that presentation and letting us know the resources that the SBDC has for the Maryland business community. Definitely, we want to take questions. If you have any questions, please let us know through the chat, or you can mute yourself as well.
And I have to say that many people have given us fantastic feedback when we refer them to the SBDC. I had a referral also in the past to Jason and to University of Maryland for internships, and everybody's very, very pleased with the work that you're doing, guys, and how you provide guidance in this process. So that was a little shout out, no question, but it's a shout out to you.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for that. Looks like we have a question. Javier Rodriguez says valuable resources that he wasn't aware of. Thank you for presenting. Thank you, Javier, for being part of this session. If we do not have any questions, I'm going to leave this last slide with all of our contact information. And thank you so much for being here today. Again, thank you so much, Patricia, for the opportunity to talk to your business community. And we are here to help. If you have any question or want to know about or want to know more about a resource in particular, please contact us. Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you everyone that participated today. I'm going to share the slides and contact information with all the attendees and people that couldn't join for some reason today. But please reach out. Feel free to reach out to either the presenters of today or to the chamber, and we'll be happy to connect you, with them. Also, I would like to share really quick before we go, our sponsors here, Kaiser Permanente, MECO, and Fulton Bank made possible these BAM sessions. And every third Friday of the month, we are here with a different topic, something that is relevant to the business community. Feel free to reach out if you have a specific topics that you want to see presented as well. And also, just reiterate that we have upcoming events and, please visit our website. The calendar's always changing, always adding new things, and we're here to help you. So the lines are open to hear what you need, to hear how we can help you thrive and grow your business. And with that said, we'll thank everyone for being here today at BAM, at the Maryland Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.